and welcome to my first ever clay with me video. If you've seen my videos before, you might know that I make polymer clay earrings and pin badges, but recently I've been craving making something bigger. Before we get into it, if you're here to craft with me, then make sure your supplies are at the ready, and if you're just here to chill, then sit back, relax, and get a hot drink. Let's talk about clay. So I started making little things with polymer clay back in 2021, as I wanted to take up a new hobby during lockdown. I'll put in some photos of my first attempts while I'm talking. I originally wanted to use the clay to recreate the slimes from Slime Rancher. I had been obsessed with playing this game at the beginning of lockdown. I don't know if you know it, but it was such a fun game. I actually never ended up making the slimes from the game, but maybe I still should. Maybe I will. I don't know. I started off by following some YouTube tutorials, and from there I got a bit more creative with it, and I really found that I loved making things with the polymer clay. And that Easter, I actually made a bunch of cute little chicks to give to my family as mini Easter gifts. I made some custom order stitch markers for my family as well, and some key rings. I'll try to find some photos to put in, but if there's none here, then I couldn't find them. And so, because of that, way before Okupoku was born, on the recommendation of my family, I started my first ever Etsy shop under the name Art by Cooper, which was what my Instagram account used to be called, where I used to post all of my artwork and then also started to post all of my clay. So then I called it, I think I changed it actually at some point to Clay by Cooper to separate it out from my illustrations. I made a lot of earrings, keychains, and stitch markers to put online. Stitch markers is something I'm actually thinking about going back to making because they're really useful for people who crochet. I've got a lot better at product photography since then too, so these photos aren't great that I'm putting in here. To this day, I still sell earrings made from polymer clay, but as I said in the intro, I've been wanting to make some bigger things. So before I tell you about what I'm actually making here, yep, sorry to tease you again, I should mention I did in fact try my hand at making some bigger things in the past too. As you may have noticed, I have some keychains in the corner that I'm using as references. These are things I made myself. I used to make these shaker keychains back when I still used UV resin to glaze all of my polymer clay creations. Little side note here about why I stopped using resin. I actually have a condition called solar urticaria, which for me it means that I am allergic to UVA, UVB and visible light, so I'm not sure why I ever really thought me working with UV resin was a good idea. I mean, it's literally in the name. I also noticed that, to be totally honest, I didn't like working with resin. It was often still tacky after curing it, or it would take a long time to fully cure under my lamp. Also, my setup was kind of crazy and really, like, just mushed together. I'll put in some photos of it, but I used to balance my nail lamp on top of some DVDs to hold it up so that I could actually hang the charms underneath. Because I was glazing 3D charms, I found that the best way to do it was to put a paper clip through the, eye hook, what is that what they're called? The eye pin on the clay, and to then hang it. And to do that, I literally sellotaped some skewers to a box and then somehow balanced this underneath my nail lamp so that I could cure them. And then I also taped some more skewers to an Amazon box, which I would put them on to finish curing because, as I said, sometimes they were still tacky after being under the lamp. So then I would put them under over there, and hopefully in direct sunlight, although living in the UK, this direct sunlight, you know, it's not always a thing. So it was just a very awkward setup, and yeah, it was really annoying. And I'll put my hands up and say this may have been user error, but it was annoying to me and frustrating. I also realized that it didn't make a huge difference to the durability of my items, as if you don't know, polymer clay is actually really strong. Once it's put together and it's baked, it is really durable and strong, so I don't think it was that necessary. Plus, when looking back at things that I've made now years ago, they've yellowed terribly. They've yellowed so bad, and it looks it looks bad, so I wouldn't want things to not last well. Anyways, enough on the resin hate, let's move on. I did try my hand at a couple of desk buddies too. I even made a pumpkin cat, which was the inspiration for my pumpkin cat illustrations that became one of my most popular products. And so, as you've seen in previous videos, if you've watched them, it was a huge part of the pumpkin cats in my autumn launch this year. I made them a big focus. I wanted to make a clay cat desk buddy for each season, but in true me fashion, I never finished making them all. And I was struggling with how I would actually ship them out to customers if they did sell online, because obviously at that point my online shop was tiny and I don't even shipping really small things. So I just used bubble mailers before to protect them in the post. And this would have meant getting like boxes and things that I probably wasn't really ready to be getting into shipping larger items. So I just went back to making and focusing on small things instead, and I ended up making pin badges, which I still sell. I still sell the pin badges now. So now that I've told you about all of how I started making polymer clay, what I used to sell, how I used to do it, let's talk about what I'm actually doing and what I'm actually making here in the video. I wanted to recreate the designs that I used to make as the shaker keychains because I love the ideas that I had for those, but without using resin, I can't make the shaker keychains in the ways that I used to. I really admire Stay OK Studio, another clay artist who makes adorable things. I'll be sure to put the link to their page in the description. They make little worry stones, and I have seen worry stones in other forms online too. If you don't know what a worry stone is, it's a small stone, crystal, or in my case, polymer clay item with a thumb indent. The idea behind them is that you rub it between your forefinger and your thumb, or fidget with the stone in your pocket when you're feeling nervous or anxious. They can be really, really great for anxiety relief, or for grounding yourself when you feel overwhelmed, or even for using as a distraction in a similar way that you might with a fidget toy. With all of this in mind, I decided that I would turn my fruit bat shaker keychains into worry stones, or as I've come to call them, worry pals, which I think is really cute. Since I now do the in-person markets and conventions, I thought it's the perfect time to try out my ideas for larger products, as I can test them out at markets in person to see if anyone is interested in them, to hear feedback on it, to see if anyone even, looks at them and pays attention to them, before I even have to think about shipping and taking photos and listing them online. And I can test out different pricing points to see if that makes a difference to how people interact with them. So in my opinion, it's a much less stressful way to test a product because I can change things easily. I can show it and get it in front of a lot of people immediately because I'm at an in-person event. So I think it's quite a good way to experiment, and it means I don't have to invest in buying any boxes for shipping them out or anything yet. So these products aren't online as of yet, although I took them to my first market this weekend and they were well received, so I'm quite happy about that. So now you'll see in the video I've moved on to making a different kind of product here. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I also wanted to make desk buddies, and I had this idea a couple of weeks ago to make little cakes with animals sat on top of them as a mini series of desk buddies. This idea has been stuck in my head since I thought of it, so I just had to try out making them. In the past, when I first started doing clay, I was really fond of making clay cakes then too, so I thought this was a fun little nod to something that I first made out of clay with a twist of my own style that I have found over the years. And so I really wanted to make these cakes, and I thought it was adorable to just put these little really round animals on top of them. And so you can see in the video here that there's one that's nearly done with a pig on top, and I just think it's so adorable. Hello, before I end this video, I just wanted to show you a little close-up of every single clay thing I made. They are already priced up because I'm going to be debuting them at a market this weekend. And I'm really hoping to see a good response to them. I think they're just adorable. This one might be my favourite with the little piggy on top. I think he turned out really cute. And then, so the idea of this one is it's a normal sponge cake with chocolate icing and then little blueberries on the top. And I just did a little spin around. You can see that it's slightly messy at the back, but I think they're really nice sizes for like desk buddies is the idea. And then we got this froggy cake with green icing, normal sponge cake again, and then purple, I don't know, grape flavour or something. I just really wanted to use purple. And then white icing in the middle. I love this way of making icing with like just balls of clay in the middle. I think it looks nice and chunky. I really like it. I also really like the little froggy. I think he turned out very cute. And then we've got a strawberry cat. She's even got a little strawberry on her head. This one's a bit smaller, so that's why I've had to price them individually, because they're very different sizes in the end, but that's fine. And then, of course, these are all little strawberries around her with strawberry icing in the middle. And I'm so happy with these. I had a lot of fun making these as well. And then we got a little chocolate cake with a ducky on top, and isn't he just so cute? And I really like on this clay, you can kind of see it's very marbled because I was mixing it to make a lighter colour. But I actually didn't fully mix it because I really liked the marbled look that it had. And then we've got just normal cream, white in the middle. I like trying to make up the flavours of the cakes. And then another new product is I've made some worry pals or worry stones. And so these are all priced the same. I have just stuck a little price on the back. But so you've got a little froggy, and the idea, if you don't know what a worry stone is that they are really soft to rub your thumb on or your finger, and they're something that you can keep in your pocket, and they're really good for anxiety. So they're really nice. This is like a really soothing feel to do. The fruit bats into worry pals. I'm going to call them worry pals. I think that's a really nice name. So again, it's just another worry stone here, and this one's even got this little dent on the top because it's a blueberry. So that could be nice to touch as well. But yeah, I really like this one. I think he's adorable. And then we've also got an orange bat with little leaves on his head. And then lastly, we have the lemon bat, who it doesn't want to focus on. There you go. Lemon bat as well. And I really like them all. I don't know which one is your favourite. Let me know in the comments what your favourite one is. But this was probably about 5 hours worth of crafting. And that was with the help of my partner this time as well for mixing the colours and stuff, which did speed things up considerably. But I've basically tried to price them. I tried to price them based on the weight plus the time it takes to make them. So I think this is a good starting price for them because I want to see how well received they are. But I think my polymer clay stuff in general does quite well. I also have this whole little tray here. I was going through a lot of my old designs, and I particularly like these little chubby dinosaurs. I'd quite like to make a bigger version of them to be desk buddies as well. These little bat earrings I used to make, I think those would be nice to bring back. Again, this dinosaur is a really nice one. So there's going to be a lot more clay videos coming soon because I'd like to return to doing some of these designs here. I think it could be quite a nice thing to do. I also need some more ideas for stud earrings, but I do want to use this watermelon idea again. Doesn't want to focus, does it? But I really want to use this watermelon idea again for stud earrings because I have a bunch of stud earrings and then I never make any stud earrings, so I don't use them. But I should, because I've got them. So if you have any ideas for stud earrings, let me know and I'll see what I can do about making them. Also, I would take polymer clay commissions if you send me an email on my website. If you're interested in anything custom made, I do take commissions, I just don't do it very often. But I've had a few inquiries at markets about them, so yes, I would do custom things. Just drop me an email and let me know what you'd like and we can chat about it. But yeah, I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. It's a bit different, but I had a lot of fun doing it. I want to do more of these style videos like sew with me, clay with me, draw with me type things. I think they're really fun and they're very chilled to watch and just a bit of change of pace from my usual studio vlog. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!